everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Vlogmas day 10. So I hope you're all well today. The candle is Christmas cookie, which is one of my favourites, but quite sweet. Okay, so I burn it for a little while and, you know, maybe not too long. So today is all about a tutorial for my fabulous pincushion. Now, I would say it's not essential if you don't have a sewing machine because it's quite a small circle. It wouldn't take much to sew that up by hand. I am going to show you by using a sewing machine. I'm actually going to show you this cute little one here with a lovely summer print on. Oh, ever hopeful. So this would make a lovely little gift for somebody, or just a gift for yourself, whatever you wanted to do. So we're going to go straight to the tutorial now, and I will see you here afterwards. So to make your pincushion, you're going to need 2 pieces of fabric cut in a circle. Now all I have done is use the bottom of a biscuit tin for mine. I'm making this size, which you can see compared to my hand is quite a nice size for a pincushion, and these came out. These circles are approximately 5.5 inches in diameter, so you just need anything circular like a bowl or anything. As I say, I used a tin. Now you could do yours two-tone where you have a different fabric on the bottom. That's entirely up to you. I rather liked this summertime print, so I've cut 2 circles out in that one. You're going to need some embroidery thread. So for this part here where we turn it into sections, you're going to need some embroidery thread, whatever colour you like. You're going to need a button. You're going to need some sewing thread. You're also going to need some pins and a sewing needle. There is a tiny amount of hand sewing involved. It would be handy just to have a small pair of sewing scissors, and you'll need some stuffing for your pincushion. Now I have run out of toy stuffing, so I have an old pillow and I'm using the insides of that. So to start with, all you're going to do is take your pieces of fabric and place them right sides facing. So I've got one side facing up, one side facing down, and then we're just going to pin around the outside. So what we're going to do in just a moment is we're literally going to sew around the outside. But if we're going to start here, say if we start here, we need to leave a small, say 1.5 to 2 inch gap for turning. So what I tend to do is place my pins facing this way, and then I know not to sew here. Okay, so you would start here, go all the way around, and then end here. Make sure you don't sew all of the way around. So I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now I have a mark on my presser foot here, and then I'm literally just going to start off by sewing a couple of stitches forward, a couple of stitches back like I normally do, and then I carry on sewing. That just helps it knot that thread off. So all you're going to do is just sew around, just using your hand to just gently move that fabric as you go around. You can adjust if you want to. Just take it nice and slowly, and then you just sew all of the way around. But remember, we're going to stop at our marker to allow for that turning gap. come up to where our marker was, I'm just going to go back a few stitches, forward, and then finish on a back. There you go. So I've gone all the way around. I've left this gap here. Now I've cut off my threads, and I've also trimmed using my pinking scissors. That's not necessary. You can use just normal scissors around here just to eliminate any bulk. But what I don't do, where we left our gap, I don't tend to trim that because I want these bits to be folded in. So I just leave those at that seam allowance. Okay, so now we're going to just turn this the right way round. Okay, so just start off nice and slowly, and then once you start pulling through, it should become easier. Okay, so there we go. Now you can, I tend to use a crochet hook to help. You can use a pencil or maybe a pen with the nib not out. I don't tend to use scissors to do this bit. I find very often I end up, because my scissors are quite sharp, I end up putting them through, which isn't the idea. Okay, so once I'm happy, so I've turned that out. Now I'm going to take this and give it a quick press, okay, to keep the shape. What we also do at time of pressing is I pull these taut, and then I'm literally just going to press those edges in so that when we have stuffed and it's time to sew, the edges already want to go in. Okay, so you may have to manipulate that slightly before you press so that you keep this nice round edging, but I'm going to give a quick press and then I'll be back. So once you've pressed yours, then you can see how these sides here have gone in nicely. What you want to do now is take little pieces of your wadding at a time and just start to stuff. Okay, so you can use, and I don't know where I've put it. There you go. You can use your crochet hook or whatever you were using earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and stuff my little pin cushion. So there you go, I've stuffed my pin cushion. I like to make it quite compact, so put plenty in. And then all we need to do now is get some thread and a needle, knot the end, and then we're just going to hand sew this little opening closed. Now, don't worry too much if you're not overly neat. To be honest, once we've made the pin cushion and we've done this design, you don't tend to notice where you've sewn this part closed. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the inside. Okay, so if I just start you off, so if I start on the inside where I've knotted off, then my end, I'm going to get in a mess with, then my end, I tend to hide that within the pin cushion. Okay, so I'm just going to hide that out of the way, and then you just want to pull this so two sides are together, and then I'm just going to do little stitches all the way along. Okay, so I'm not doing anything fancy, I'm just going over from one side to the other. And that's all the way along. So when I get to the end, I've done a little knot there, and what I do to hide my thread now is I just go through that seam, come up anywhere Just about there is fine. Pull that needle through, and then don't pull this bit too tight, because then you'll have a tuck. And then I'm going to snip my thread off here. Pull that bit. There you go. And then you lose your end within the pin cushion, so just give it a bit of a puff out. So now what we need to do is put the sections in here. So I'm going to make 6 sections. It's up to you how many you do. Now I've already done this once today, but I just realised in the edit this bit didn't come out properly, so you may notice a little bit different in the lighting. I'm doing this of an evening now. So we want to thread our needle with our embroidery thread. So I suggest you have about 50 centimetres or 25 inches, because what we're going to do, as in this one, we need to go round and round and round. Very similar to the pumpkin tutorial if you followed along with that one. And then what I've done on the end of my thread is a nice big knot. Okay, so I've knotted that in the same place about 4 times. Left a little bit of an end, enough that I can tie this when I've finished. And then what we're going to do is find the centre point on your bottom. So I know where mine is because I've already done it once before. So you're going to come up. You may have to squidge this down the first few times, depending on how long your needle is. And then you want to come up in the centre. Now, if you're not sure where your centre is, what you could do is measure and then mark that with a marker pen, an air erasable pen, or a little piece of chalk. Okay, so I'm going to go up. And as I said, I'm making 6 sections, so you're simply going to wrap the thread around, go back to the bottom. Try not to get tied up with this. Sometimes you end up getting a little bit tangled, so just do it nice and gently. And then what you want to do again is come up in that centre point again. Now, once you've done this a few times, it gets a little bit easier. Okay, so you're going to pull. I'm just going to see that I'm not getting knotted up on the back. No, so there you go. And then once you've done that once, then what you want to do is pull. Tight, 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 tight. So as you can see, it's just coming in. Then I'm going to do the next section around. So I'm keeping that tension all the time. I don't want that to loosen off at all. It's just a little bit fiddly until you get used to it. Okay, coming back up in that centre. Pulling the thread through. Just do it gently because we've got quite a bit of thread here. We don't want to knot that up, which is what I've done. Oh, I'm having a funny day today. So, and then once we've come through again, pull that tight again. Then we're going to make the next section. Okay, you can see how this works now. So we want to come up through the middle. There you go. Again. I think it's the thread. It's not playing. Right, I'm just going to unknot that for you. So there you go. I'm pulling that nice and tight again. So you can see I'm going to do another section here. Come up through the middle, another section here, another section there. Now don't tie off your yarn when you get to the end because we need to put our button in here and I will show you what to do. So I've gone all the way around and made my 6 sections. But now we need to put our button on. So I've come up through the middle, I'm at the top. I'm going to thread my button up one hole, and then we go down the other hole, but then we're also going to go through the pincushion and come out at the bottom. And then again, you can just position that, pull it nice and tight. And then all I'm going to do is just tie these two ends in another knot and then hide the ends within the pincushion. And then again, my ends I hide within the pincushion just by pushing the needle through. Pull that bit a little bit tight, snip off, and then your ends disappear. So there you go, a sweet and easy little gift idea for you. And as I say, I love mine. I use it all the time. So I do hope that you enjoyed that tutorial. Do send me any pictures, ask me any questions, leave some comments down below. Before I go today, I'm going to ask you another question. Now, if you listened to me yesterday, you will know that come Sunday, or most probably Sunday, nothing's for sure in this life, but come Sunday, I'm going to have a little hangout with you, have a nice hot chocolate, answer some of your questions. But I've been asking you questions this week, and today's question is, I'd like to know what other YouTube channels you like to watch. Now, I love to watch Jada and Stitches. I watch The Secret Yarnery, Summer's Tips and Stitches, Bella Coco, she's over here in the UK, and quite a few more. But what I'd love to do is if I can formulate a list and then maybe give you some ideas of other vloggers to watch, not only over Christmas, but you know, whenever you've got a free moment. So let me know in the comments below if you've got any favourites, and I will see you here tomorrow. Bye bye.